are out in it. Because if you get out in it, then you're also will be immune to it, so to speak. Because if you're out in it every day, it becomes a part of you, not a part of you, but it becomes a piece of your wholeness. And so it can't affect you in any way that is not going to lift you higher. And so we call that our immunity, by getting out in it, just like you would do with your allergies. You give yourself a little bit of the pollen every day, a little bit, get out in it, get your skin out in it. So we just give ourselves that. We build up our own immunity, because the biology of this technology, of this avatar that we're in, this meat sack, so to speak, is pretty advanced stuff. And so we can get out in it and evolve our own self, evolve our own DNA, evolve our own systems, and then we can begin to create our own systems as well, especially once you get out into a space that is going to be where nature and technology have advanced, because once you get out into a certain density, there's no more separation. We came down through these densities and we experienced all kinds of separation. The separation where the dark comes out of you, and it comes out of you in this gloomy, gloppy, gluttonous glom. It looks kind of like freaking Venom. It looks like the symbiote. And then it can come and be part of you, and then you have to go through the integration process. That's what 3D is about, because 2D was the duality, and then you're going through that in 3D. So every density that you get to, you're going through. Your body is still trying to process. That's why people are saying they're having these ascension symptoms, because the earth has already been through all of the ascensions. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to communicate with the higher self, because the higher self is so far beyond what this is. Like, it would literally take us eons to get here. If we were on linear time, we would never get here. But since things are vibrating up and it's all coming together, then we're able to communicate with the higher selves, with the higher light source. Basically, you're able to get on that frequency because you raised yourself, and by raising yourself, you are the one. You are the center there in the middle of the field, the toroidal field that's constantly flowing. Just sometimes it gets cluttered up, and the more cluttered it gets, the more dense it gets. So that's what you did to get here. Was you said, okay, yeah, I'll go down there and see what's up. I'll see what this separation is all about. And then you get in it and you're like, wait a minute. And you can get stuck in places. Or you can choose to stay. That's the difference between a high vibratory frequency and a low vibratory frequency, is that the amount of choice, the amount of sovereignty that you have to say, yes, I choose this, or holy shit, I woke up with amnesia again. What the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? And that's okay to have that amnesia too, because that in itself is an awakening. Because if you know that you woke up with amnesia, you know that there's something else to connect to connect the dots, to get in alignment with, to get there, to be there in the now. Because the now is where everything gets to change. See? And you can look down from the now into the densities that are below, because there's always going to be something below and around and above and coming out of all the infinite directions, all the infinite chakras from the source. The one atom, we're all subatomic particles, because we came from the one darkness that condensed into the one and exploded, and those explosions keep having explosions, and they keep having explosions, and all the explosions at some point become conscious on some level. So it's all happening all at the same time everywhere, and you can tune into any of those, and that's your time travel. But to be able to do it faster, process it faster, understand it, to just know you have to raise your vibration. You have to raise your frequency. In order to do that, you have to lighten up. And that's whatever it means to you. Whether that means laughing more, yeah, lighten up, baby. Whether that means changing how you eat, yeah, lighten up. Lose the load. You can't take it onto the roller coaster. You can't take it onto the spaceship. You can't take it up into the higher dimensions. You can't take more than half of the density, more than half, 99.99% of the density. You can't take it with you to get back to source. And that's sort of the ultimate goal. I mean, have fun along the way. Stop along the way. We made stops along the way. So I'll tell you about that. My own understanding of who I am and where I come from is grown exponentially. So now you say, I could say, well, from where I'm from, past the 12th density, past the Metatron gridding system, because they're, like we said before, it's all systems. It's all constructed. Just some of it's lighter matter of fact. It's lighter there in some places, believe it or not. The dark will always exist, but it's going to get raised up so that the dark will just be more of, it will be a lightness to go through instead of a density to go through. And if you want to go down into the deep glommy glop of it all, you can. That's your decision. You can do it. But so where I'm from, I had to come through whole bunches of densities. Like, it's a miracle to be here. But to be able to travel at the speed of thought, you know, whatever that means. So to get here, you have to go through a lot of systems. And some systems you stop and stay longer. Some systems you don't. And you get here and you get into the density and you're like, you forget everything. But there are always messages. That's why you have so many freaking portals on this avatar. That's why your entire skin, the whole skin cover is it's connected to the electromagnetic fields from all directions. That's why people can levitate and fly, I'm sure. And you can get out of the body, but the body not die. You can take your light body out and travel around in your light body. You can do that in your dreams. You can do that in your thoughts. You can get out and travel. And now with what's happened to where we're not buying into the old program that said there had to be an apocalypse devastation because of technology, now we're saying, oh, you know what? We're just going to keep advancing the light. We're going to keep advancing the lightening of the load. And we're going to keep contacting ourselves at higher and higher frequencies and keep getting further and further up into the future, which is us. Because we descend down and give ourselves the freaking message, you know. Whew. But you don't always have to die because you won't always have an avatar. But it's fun now because now we're in a cool place where you can take the avatar higher and higher into these higher densities. People are taking their avatar into the 4th density, which sometimes it's scary because where the 4th density is in that time is still in the muck and maybe not in the muck and guck, but there's still like these beings there that look scary at first sight. Your creations, you know, that have been in the dark for kind of long. And they're like, hey mom, come love me. And you're like, whoa, shit, what the fuck are you? Back off. You know, people have traversed these planes and they're like, you don't got to go there. Okay. You can look down from where you are, get yourself on the high level, first of all, and then look down from where you are and say, hey, look, check it out. And you shine your light down there and you're so freaking bright. They can see you and they can come towards you. And as they come up higher, they get better looking just like you. And think about this. You look up and at some point there's a hive mother looking down and being like, oh my God, my ugly little babies. Here's some light. Come towards the light. Come towards the light. It's better up here. It's prettier up here. It's lighter up here. It's more beautiful up here. We're more connected up here. We just know up here, you know? And that's what you get to do. And that's why you should have fun with this. Use your use your imagination to create whatever it is that feels light, bright to you. Because that's the most in tune with source you're ever going to be. That's the most in tune that you'll ever be with that big quantum. It's past quantum field theory, whatever. It's past the magnificence that this avatar can even comprehend right now, because the avatar can only go so far until it expires, until it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have to do this anymore. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stay here in this light body, and I'm gonna keep transcending. The transcendence is the evolution. So you're gonna just keep doing that, which is still an infinite cycle, but now it's on a whole nother playing field. The field just got beyond infinite. That's why infinity and beyond, to infinity and beyond. Yes, and you can go up or you can go down, because the wheel has been broken, so to speak. But it can't stop growing, because there's so much imagination happening, and there's so much more light coming in now to every single plane. There's so much, the light, it's so much more open now. The veils have been dropped, they've been lifted. People know where they came from. They know their mother, they know their father, they know their grandmother. They just know everything without having to step foot outside the door. Just by going inside, they fucking traveled through time and space and back. And they're like, whoa, hey, guess what we can do? Look what I can do. And now you're not even going to get in trouble for it anymore. There's no hiding it. You can't hide it. Thank you, internet. Thank you, webbing system. You can't hide it. They can put it on live if they want to. And that's happening. Think about that. Think about that the Mayans are up there in 12D like, hey guys, we're still sending you light and love. We're still sending you the messages. You're getting it. Hey, yeah, you didn't have to go through the apocalypse this time. You didn't have to go through a flood this time. You didn't have to go through, think of what they had to do. Think of what they had to do in order to get the consciousness of people that were so far apart. They had to get those consciousnesses connected to make a flood happen. Whereas now it's like, oh, we can make a hurricane happen. Check this out. Put it on the news and say it's coming and watch what happens. You know what I mean? But now there's people that are like, oh, that shit's fake, so I'm not buying into it. And they stop watching, and it doesn't come to where you are, because there's so much light where you are. Look at the places that aren't being affected. Blue zones. Yes. Oh, spin it around. All right, ready? We're gonna spin it around. Here. Ready?
Yeah. Let's spin it around.
Go to the places that aren't being affected. Spend time there, and you'll start to remember. And that's what you're gonna call it deja vu, but you'll remember.